Hey, what's up everybody? Long time no see. It's been 515 days to be precise. And I think it was 2 or 3 videos before that I posted this.
I applied for my my second job, but this is like a part-time job. It's at the Tesla store as a sales representative, so just kind of like a car salesman.
So you can obviously see from the title of this video, the good news is I got hired. The not so good news, I guess, is that I got laid off. Before I get into the story of kind of the past year and a half at Tesla, for the record, I am still a huge supporter of Tesla and the company's mission to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. I am a shareholder, and as of pretty recently, I am an owner. It's my Model 3. So yeah, let's get into some of the story. Pittsburgh bound, cruising on autopilot. My car's doing a lot of the driving by itself, which is awesome, but I am still paying attention to the road, and I'm ready to take over if need be, because it's not fully self-driving, but it is, especially on like well-marked highways, it's really good. But anyway, let's go back to Tesla. That clip you saw, shortly after that, I had a conversation with a recruiter, and I had a few interviews after that, and I got hired. I was hired at a mall showroom, so kind of like a store in the mall with 2 and then eventually 3, the Model 3, 3 Teslas, and people would come in, and my job was to engage them, to educate them on electric cars, and to excite them. So I wasn't directly asking for the sale or anything like that, but yeah, my job was to build a relationship, to make them comfortable and confident, and then schedule a test drive or schedule an appointment to learn more about solar power or battery backup. My mom's calling. Hey, Mom.
Hi, babe. Just want to say a cop friend just sent us a letter that the cops on 78-287, they're doing a 30-day speeding ticket thing.
Okay,
how's your ride going?
I'll slow down a bit. It's good. I am, I don't know, maybe like 5 hours out.
It takes you, what, like 7 because of the stopping?
Yeah, to supercharge.
Or 8? Good. Excellent.
All right.
All right, honey. All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye,
Right.
love you.
Love you, bye.
All right, we got 10 minutes left on the supercharger. I've been here for probably a half hour, had some lunch, had some hot water, feeling great. But yeah, let's pick it up. So I did that role, customer experience specialist, for 3 months, and I loved it. I got to talk to people from all over the world, because the mall we were working at was like a destination for tourists sometimes. And so I asked to be promoted after about 3 months to an energy advisor, which is, again, on the energy side, so on the solar and the Powerwall side. And now I was actually like closing deals, and I was like a true bona fide salesperson. I enjoyed it. Now, that being said, there were highs and there were lows. You have good months, you have not good months. You should have closed that deal. I could have done this. Lots of kind of that. It was consuming. You know, I would come home after a day of work and I couldn't turn it off. It was constantly floating around in my head because I was kind of like running my own business almost, in terms of like managing my pipeline of clients and these leads that need to be reached out to, and these, you know, deals that need to be closed, or this project that needs to be managed. But it was good. I consider myself an entrepreneur, and so I loved that I was able to wear so many different hats, and I never stopped being a customer experience specialist, which was my first job. I was always on the floor, you know, having those conversations, and even if I couldn't directly sell them something, which was now my job, I was still happy to just excite them, because I wanted somebody, whether they were 7 years old or 107 and, you know, they couldn't even drive anymore, I wanted them to leave with something that they didn't have when they came into the door. I wanted to make them feel happy, excited, hopeful, so that they would tell their friends, because that word of mouth is powerful. Tesla doesn't do any sort of TV commercials or a lot of traditional marketing, but what they do is they have incredible reputation, because I think number one, they're doing something important, something that is literally trying to change the world for the better. Number two, they're doing something really, really well from a performance and from a style standpoint. It looks and it feels, it is good. It like charges people up, both employees, everybody's got that sense of deep purpose and why, as Simon Sinek might say, and then customers who kind of, you know, are early adopters, and they take it on as pride and even like identity, and they kind of share, and that's really powerful. So yeah, highs and lows. Also highs and lows from Tesla itself. 2018 was like a roller coaster of a year, with like the news and all that. And when you're working at Tesla, you're living in the news, and customers would come in and they'd say, what about this? I just heard this, you know, Elon tweeted that, or like the news is saying this, and it's like, it's stressful. It's really exciting, but it's also really stressful sometimes. And add to that, like, long hours sometimes, especially like end of quarter crunches. You know, there would be weeks I would work 50, 60, 70, 80, and I'm not kidding, I worked 90 hours in a week once. And, you know, that's not asked explicitly. It wasn't asked of me at all, but, you know, I wanted to put that work in because there was always work to be done. That was more so, I think, on the car delivery side. We needed to get cars delivered. That's because, you know, Tesla is held accountable by shareholders, and rightfully so. Tesla's never made any money. They've had a few profitable quarters, but all in all, they've lost a ton of money, and so in order to achieve this mission of transitioning the world to sustainable energy, the only way that gets done is by making money, right? Or else they're going to go out of business and nobody benefits. So we needed to deliver cars, and it was crunch time, and it was chaos sometimes, and truthfully, I burned myself out. I really, really did. I think I learned a lesson there. Yeah. So I mentioned China, and so I had been planting seeds really since the beginning of my time at Tesla, to my managers, to upper management, to HR, that I wanted opportunities to go to China, whether it was like the most entry level. You know, after I'd been promoted, I was willing to go back to my original, that like, you know, customer experience specialist role in China, but it didn't pan out, and it makes total sense. Again, Tesla's like in this war of attrition against these entrenched industries, big auto and big oil, and like is running a very lean operation. So to do like a non-essential transfer, is how it was described to me, just didn't, it wasn't allowed, like, period. Okay, you know, I can't transfer to China, but I still really need to go over there, because I'm not going to let my language proficiency that I've spent 5 years really, you know, studying hard, I'm not going to let that atrophy. So I worked with my managers, and I was like, hey, listen, if I can't transfer, I still need to go over there, because I'm deeply committed to that. And so I submitted for a leave of absence. I worked with my managers and stuff. And then that's when I burned myself out, those last few weeks of quarter three, I think, because I was maybe trying to like prove something before I left, and I'm not really sure why. But so I went to China for 2 months, and it was wonderful. So about a week before I was supposed to come back anyway from China, I get an email basically saying that my leave of absence request has been denied. And I was like, oh, all right, too late for that. Anyway, my manager, he texts me, and we hadn't really been talking much, because it was like understood, like this was understood in the cards for a long time. And he's like, okay, it's time to come back. So I come back on a Sunday, I go back to work on a Monday, and now it's like the end of quarter four, right? So I just burned myself out the end of quarter three, and now I'm back for quarter four, but I slow down, well, sort of, kind of. At least I'm refreshed. I should say that. I'm refreshed, and I'm ready to go, and I truly am, and I'm excited to be back. And now it's delivery, you know, crunch time again, and so back to that. And I got my car at the last day of the year. I got my Model 3 because we got a sweet employee discount, because it was the last time to get the full federal tax credit, $7,500. It was like a good deal, and not the best financial decision, certainly not, but truthfully, it's been really good. Yeah, and then it's January, and I'm back to my role as an energy advisor, selling solar and Powerwall, and I'm crushing it. I'm doing really, really well. And about 3 weeks in, we get an email from Elon saying that cuts are coming. That, yeah, again, it's a war of attrition, and got to run a bare bones operation and only like essential things, which I totally respect. But I think I'm safe because, again, like sales is the only division that brings in revenue. Usually, you know, especially if you're performing pretty well, you're safe. So I didn't think that it would affect me. But remember, fourth quarter, the first 2 months I was in China, didn't have sales. And then the last month I was just working with deliveries. So fourth quarter I didn't have any sales. Granted, now we're in first quarter, I'm doing really well. The best work I've ever done, you know, in that role. And anyway, about 9 a.m., that morning we got that email. About 9 a.m., a couple hours later, I get a phone call from my manager, and he's like, "Hey, this is my manager. I just got laid off." And I was like so shocked. That's not me getting laid off. That's my manager getting laid off. And I was bummed, and I felt almost like a little guilty because he helped me go to China and like take this time off. A couple hours later, I got a calendar invite from like his manager, and I was like, uh-oh. And then, yeah, eventually like broke the news to me, like kind of like just read from a script and was like, you know, cuts, you're I don't know. It was a little cold, but it was also like calculated. I totally get it. And he had to do this for like, this was like his day, was just going through and like letting people go. That's got to be brutal. So I tried to make it, you know, easy. I didn't push back really at all, other than saying like, you realize I'm crushing it this month, right? And he was like, yeah, I know, but like we gotta whatever. So I was like, this is probably honestly harder for you than it is for me. So I feel for you. Please keep up the good work. That's every time I talk to somebody from Tesla, I always say keep up the good work, because they're working really hard. They're grinding. They're putting in the hours, and yeah, lots of respect. Man, that was the saddest part for me, was that I mean, I loved what I did because I believed in it with every, you know, fiber of my being. Not to say Tesla's perfect. It's not perfect, but it's doing the right thing in an awesome way. And but the sad part was that I loved my team. I really did. They were hardworking and like fun, that's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I packed up my stuff and I left. And it's been about 2 months since then, so I've had time to process and kind of, again, unwind. But that being said, and I like to be positive on these vlogs, on these videos, but I sometimes can beat myself up and can be negative to myself. Like outwardly I'm always positive, but like in my own head I can be very negative. And so, and that's, you know, whatever, ups and downs, right? And I want to strive to have more ups and more downs and be more consistent. But yeah, some of these past 2 months I've been like super lazy and like, I don't know, I just haven't been living the life that I want to live. And so it's been an okay 2 months. Like I've had a lot of fun and I've done a lot of good, meaningful things, but I'm ready at this point for a new start, to work hard again and to do something meaningful and purposeful. And so for the next few months, I am going to be making a lot of videos and more specific or purposeful videos. I don't know, we'll see. But I hope you do continue watching. Thank you if you've watched this far. And yeah, stay tuned. Peace out. I'm gonna keep driving to Pittsburgh. Bye.